All right, just for starters, for those of you who haven't worked with this, what I call pinching method, this is another way of zooming in and out of text. So if you'll give me just a moment here, I'm going to fly in my iPad. It's just absolute magic. And I wanted to show you how you can use what I call this, I call it a pinching gesture. Again, remember, we use gestures to navigate the iPad. So for example, I'm just going to open up my Safari web app, and let me get my drawing tool up here. So I have my Safari app down on my dock. And if I go ahead and open that, I'm just going to search for, I'll do my throwback, my cute puppies, because sometimes I just can't think of anything else to search on. So I'm just going to, we have our little, you can find any kind of a website. I'm just right here. And if you're like me, even with glasses, sometimes my, the font is just too small. And so in order to make things larger, what I do is I use what I call the pinching gesture. I take two fingers, they can be any two fingers, whatever you're comfortable with, place the two fingers down on your screen. So they both have to be touching. And then as you move your fingers apart, you'll see that the font gets larger. You can see a little bit better. And then when you move your fingers back together again in that pinching gesture, you can decrease the size of whatever is on the screen. So again, widening them does a zoom. So it makes the whatever's on the screen larger, typically the text, and then pinching your fingers back together again, then makes whatever text you're displaying on their screen smaller. So sometimes when I will sometimes use these two fingers, it might be a little bit easier. But one of the things that you'll notice is when you use this gesture, when you zoom in, sometimes you're going to find that text kind of scrolls off the screen a little bit. So it really depends on what you need this for. If you just need to kind of zero in, maybe there's a number, a phone number, or just, a password. This is where that gesture, what I call the pinching gesture, becomes really handy. It's just, just to really zoom in on something. Maybe you're looking at a map or you can't see what you're looking at. And then pinching your fingers back together again, that will decrease the size of whatever text is being displayed. So just a quick way to zoom in and zoom out when you are trying to look at something that has a font size of like, -2 point. Oh, and Carl has cleared this up. The full moon at strawberry harvest time. That's where it comes from. Thank you, Carl. I knew we could count on you. So there it is.
Excuse me. So does the zooming in and out trick with the fingers, does that work on Android as well as with the iPad?
Should. Yeah, it should. I've used it. I don't have it. I use it on my laptop screen because I have a touch screen on my laptop. I use it on my Chromebook. Yep, it's kind of this universal zooming in and zooming out.
Yeah, and it does work. It works on my pad on my laptop too. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. If you have a touch screen like I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I always find that really useful. Not everybody knows about that.
Oh, excuse me. I meant my touchpad. It works on my touchpad too.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Mine too. Yeah. Okay. So that's how we're going to start off by talking about the zooming in and zooming out. Now I want to show people how you can display all the apps that are currently open on your iPad. And when you have them open, how you can simply tap on them to display them. So the easiest way to display the apps that are currently open on your iPad is to start from the bottom of your screen. And then with a swiping motion, just kind of swipe up into the center of the screen. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll swipe up with my finger and I kind of just hold it there for a second. So let me just show you, I'm swiping up from the bottom, just kind of holding it for a second. And then what you'll see is all of my apps that are currently open. And I'm taking my finger and I'm just swiping right to see more of them. And then with my finger swiping left, if they're scrolling, if I have additional apps that I want to scroll the other way. So again, let me just do this one more time. What I'm doing is I'm starting at the bottom of my iPad screen and upward, swiping up. And then I just hesitate for a second with my finger and then I release. And then this shows you all of the different apps that you currently have open. Now, in order to open one of these apps, all you need to do is tap on the app. So if I were to tap on my Safari app, I'm tapping on it and I'm come back to my my screen, my Safari screen. Now, once you have an app open, you can close it. If you have a home button, you can just click on the home button once, or if you don't have a home button, even if you do have a home button, dragging your finger up from the bottom on an app will, whoops, let me do that again. We'll close it. And my screen has to catch up. Okay, so again, I'm going to drag my finger up from the bottom, hold it for a second, because again, this is how you can see all of the apps that you currently have open. Now, if you ever wanted to close an app, because I know there's always a discussion. Is it okay to keep your apps open? Does it really matter? Can you, or should you always close them out? I find that if I have lots of apps open, if I think that my iPad is just running a little bit slowly, I might go into my open app screen and I might close a few. I've been reading different articles. Some people say, no, you can leave all your apps open. It's absolutely fine. Some people may advise you to close them, but sometimes I just like to be tidy. And if I know I'm not using apps, I'll just close them. So how do you actually close an app that you see on this open app screen? You're going to take your finger and on the app, you're just going to swipe up, give it that upward swiping motion. So I'm going to use Dropbox as an example. I'm just going to literally swipe up. Let me go back here for a minute. Come